Hey everybody, I wanted to give an update on kind of where I'm at. I pulled the cabinets out and I primed them with the mold and mildew resistant paint, and I've just put them back in temporarily. They're not secured in at this point. They're mainly just for position, because the next thing I'm starting on is actually roughing in all of the wiring for the 12-volt loads. So that's the fan, the lights, um, reading lights, the 12-volt carports, the toilet, the heater, the fridge, all of that stuff, the gas solenoid. So I'm wiring in for all of those things. What I'm doing is I'm running all of the wires in this stuff called loom, which is just a black plastic piece that opens up and the wire goes through. And I'm running that through all the pillars and up and over. And basically the loom is there to protect the wire insulation from any vibration. So as you're driving down the road and those wires are vibrating on those metal edges, it can erode or damage it over time. So the loom helps protect that. So I'm running everything in loom, all the way from the electrical box all the way to the actual device, whatever that device is. So at this point, the plan that I had was basically I went through and I took blue tape and I wrote down where all of the loads are. So reading light and 12-volt carport for the lower bunk, reading light and 12-volt carport for the upper bunk up here. I've wired in up and over to the other side for the galley. So there's wire for the heater and the fridge. I still need to wire for the water pump, but I'm actually waiting for that. So I need to make sure that I'm wiring correctly for that one. The next thing I'm going to do is wire in for all of the lights in the ceiling. There's 8 LED lights that'll go into the ceiling with a light switch that'll be on that side of the van. And then I also wired in the fan. So I'll show you a little bit inside the cabinet and talk a little bit about that first. So here is the 12-volt fuse box that I'm using. And what I did is I've gone through, and because I'm going to end up probably removing some of these wires to get behind this box to do some insulation and final work, I've made sure that I've labeled all of the loads on this end and on the opposite end of the wires. So just want to make sure I keep organized. And then that is connected to my Yeti 1500X. And I'll do a full post on why I chose to use the Yeti versus a DIY system. But that's the basics of it. The next thing I'll show you now is the actual fan, which is actually working, which is pretty awesome. So I'll show you that. So here's the fan. I put this in a couple months ago, actually a little more than 2 months ago, but I've never actually wired it in and checked to make sure that it works. So today was the first time I was able to do that. So, which was kind of exciting for me to actually get power and actually get something working in the van. It's a fairly big milestone. So basically, here's the fan. It has a louver on the top, and that's what you're hearing opening up. So the louver actually opens up on the top, and then the fan goes. And essentially, it's got multiple settings all the way up to 10. And when it's at its full setting, it's pulling about 0.9 amps. So it's not much, it's super efficient, and you can change the fan. You can actually change the direction of the fan to be like a ceiling fan and blow down as well. There is a remote, which I haven't tried yet, but we'll set that. It actually has a bit of a thermostat style thing on it. So we'll be able to use that to use the fan to basically pull air in and out of the van. And I can actually feel when it's on its full right now, I've got both the back doors open and all the windows and everything open, but I can actually feel it pulling air through the van, which is really cool. It should make a huge difference in terms of the comfort of being inside the van. So I'm still, all the cable management for up here, all the sides, and down even in the box right now, I haven't done any of that. I will wait to do all of that, but I am making sure that I've got extra wires so that when I actually want to actually manage all those wires and tie them up and get them really solid built in, I've got the space to do that. So that's what I've got right now in terms of the wiring and the electric box. So far so good with all this. I'm pretty excited to actually see something work, which means I'm on the right track. So still a ton to do on electrical. There will definitely be more posts on electrical, but this is what I've got so far. So anyways, there you go.